Here's top 5 things you need to know about a 3-axle alignment. Score one time, one shot win. Imagine that. All right, so that does happen occasionally, but yeah, we got one shot at it, you know. It's a slight educated guess, right? See, we wound up a full degree split, the 1.5 degree wedge. This side came up, which improved your caster all across the board overall. So this is actually going to be some good numbers here, right? 1/32 positive is pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and check it manually with the toe stick here. Alright, so first thing we do to get this side, now I'm going to explain a little bit about it. People ask me a lot about this toe measurement bar right here. Okay, this is 1/2 by 1/2 stainless square tubing, right? And these are little things. This is probably a 3/4 by 3/4 that'll slide through. Obviously, if you look really close, you can tell that this is made factory made. There's a magnet right here on the bottom, keep this out from moving. Got a little scribe wheel right there, as you can tell. First thing we want to do, we want to get on that line, right? Right there on the front. We're on the front of the vehicle here, okay? Over here. And we noticed right here, so we loosen this up. Pick up on it just a little bit because we don't want to drag it. Right on that line. Lock it down. You better make sure you look at this straight too, because if you don't have this bumper on here, you're going to be looking at it from the side so you won't get a good accurate measurement. This side, make sure we're on there. Right, dead on there. Check this side again. Yeah, we're on there. Alright, so take this out. It's locked in. Now we know what the front toe measurement is. And then we stick it in the back. Just like this. Knew a girl like that one time. She liked it in the back. Anyway, now we put it on the back of the tire right here. Make sure we're dead on the center there. There it is. Straight laced, baby. Believe it or not, we are dead on the 32nd. We're going to adjust that just a little bit, right? Pointer number 4, right? Your toe measurement is like your #1 wear item, okay? So, you always want to make sure that your toe is positive at least a 32nd, between a 32nd and a 16th, okay? No more than a 16th unless you're running super wide tires, okay? If you're running really wide tires and everything, then I would suggest going ahead and running an 1/8 on the tape, right? You want to run about an 1/8 positive on your big, your big heavy haul wide axles, your 18 to 20,000 pound front ends and things like that on big dump trucks, cement mixers, the real wide tires. I would run an 1/8 inch pod. That's what I was taught. They run pretty good at that, okay? So we're going to go ahead and cow this good on our toe measurement, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the back, okay? All right, let's talk about rear tracking now. We'll talk about thrust lines and tram lines and things like that, okay? Different angles and different measurements and different conditions of different things that create different kinds of tire wear. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, here we go. This laser is set up on your rear axle, right? And your rear axle set from the tires. And we're going to find the thrust line of where the tires here are thrusting, okay? And this is going to shoot a straight line and show you where the thrust line is in reference to the front of the truck, okay? Just like this, we got our gauge, little slotted gauge right there that we're going to go through that's going to show us the thrust line. Now let's say that there's an imaginary line right here. We'll show you, and it's not straight. It's leading forward here, back here, and that one is straight. This driver is going to push that way. This driver is going to push straight ahead. So it's going to be trying to push that way. Okay, now if it's pushing that way and the wheel's off that way and it's pulling to the right and you're pulling it back to the right all the time to keep it straight on the road, then you're going to wear out the inside of the front tire over there and the outside of the front tire over there. Especially if the toe's off. Now let's say that your front axle is back over here and up forward over there, and this one's up forward over here and it's back over here like that, right? Bing, bing, there we go. Now, the back end is way out, right? And it's going to be trying to The front axle is going to be trying to pull that way, and the rear axle is going to be trying to thrust that way, and it's going to be thrusting off in two different directions, you know, like trying to do a long stroke with a short. Anyway, we're going to stop right there. But anyway, you get the idea. It's going to be all over the back, fishtailing, especially with the load on it. Now, most of your wear happens because of traction and weight, and obviously the weight is going to create the biggest problem in these drive tires, right? And your traction, which tires slip, all that good stuff. So, let's see where the thrust line is on this truck. And again, I believe that B-Line is probably one of the better setups. It's a lot more user-friendly. Okay. I'm going to set this on the front of the truck here. On these Volvos, it's hard to get to the actual frame up in the very front. Most of the time, I'll always put it on the frame. But on these Volvos, I'll hang it right here on these nuts. These nuts? Got him! Anyway, these nuts. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll hang it on the bolts here on the front of the spring hanger, right here, best spot, right there, like so. Hey, so you want to level this? Bam! The truck's level. Should always be level, right? You set the same measurement on both sides, you should always be level. I'll do the same thing in the back. Plug that in, just like that. All right, lights on right there. Bring it down just a little bit. Oh, it's all the way down. See if we can make it. Boo! Shining through. Okay. Now, come down here and look under our truck. And bam, we right dead center. That's good. Okay. So it's the thrust line is straight down the center of the vehicle. Where's Bob? Over here laying down on the job. Get over here. Let's go, Bob. Now what we're going to do, we're going to check the distance between here and here. Now this is your tram measurement. Tram measurement is what's called from here. So what we're going to do is, this side is fixed, right? It does move because it pivots off of each side, but not very far. So the distance from here to here compared to the other side. And we're going to use that thing right there called the tram stick. The same setup as the one on the front, right? It's a piece of 1/2 by 1/2 stainless square tubing. It's got some locks on it, some little slides, right? I'm sure if somebody wanted to, they could engineer their own thing like this, right? So we'll take this, we stick it in here. Stick it in there. Look, it's already preset from the last one I did, so I can almost guarantee you that it's going to be perfect. We'll go around the other side. All right, so we'll go here. Bam, in there. All right, so bam, we're in there, right? That side, okay? So here you go. Really good. Well, that's really good right there. So yeah, so for the most part, it's pretty much trammed out. So, and if you notice, there's not any tire wear or anything on here that we didn't see any major tire wear. So obviously it's pretty good. If we were to adjust it, we would adjust it right here on the rear. So you're gonna need a 5/8 Allen, pretty long one to get to both sides right there. You're gonna need a 33 millimeter, 1 5/16", depending on whether or not you're a super tech or a regular tech. Another thing you want to do is when you're doing a 3-axle alignment, check the distance from here to the edge of the tire. So from the frame, we got 8.5 inches right there to the edge of the tire tread. It should be within 1/4 inch to the other side. See? 8.5, bam, right there. Volvo does a pretty good job of setting these torque rods to the right length for that, right? So that way your rear driver, and your front driver are set equal off the frame. But when you check your parts and everything back here, you need to make sure you check your torque rod bushings and make sure they haven't slipped or anything, as you can see there. Number 5, always remember to set your rear driver first and then tram your front driver, okay? All right, so the main thing you have to do after you get all this stuff done is change out the U-bolts that you swapped out. Yeah, I know. You guys thought I forgot, didn't you? Anyway, we're going to change them out real quick now that everything's done. But what we're going to do is, after that, is we're going to get in the truck, we're going to drive it down the road, and we're going to see how straight it drives, okay? And then we're going to look at the steering wheel and see what the steering wheel position is. Now, if your steering wheel position is off significantly to the left or to the right, the main place I would start looking is in the rear, okay? Now, look for bushing wear, odd positions of the tires, things like that, you know, and then, you know, check the rear first, obviously. Unless you hit something in the road and something's bent up in the front. Now I got to put those back on, right there. One of the things you have to look for is whenever you're driving, right, if it's pulling too hard to the left like this one is, then you're going to have to take it and reduce the caster, okay? We got a 1 degree split. It's probably got a little bit of a tire pull, but it is pulling too hard to the left. So the caster split at 1 degree split is a little high for this truck, especially with the assisted on there, okay? So we're going to drop it down. What we're going to do is we're going to set this more for drivability, right? We're going to drive it and test it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down. We put a 1.5 degree wedge in there. We're going to cut that in half. We're going to put a 0.75 in there, okay? We're going to put 0.75 and then we're going to drive it again. Now you see why I haven't put the U-bolts in yet, because, well, I'm not done with it, right? This truck will not leave me until it drives straight down the road. Whatever I have to do to make it drive straight down the road is whatever I have to do to make it drive straight down the road, okay? So, we're going to take that wedge out, we're going to replace it with one that's half, and we're going to test drive it again and see. 0.75, a little easier to do, you know, 7.5 right there. Okay. I lost my hat. Anyway, here we go. Snug it back down. Test drive it again. Taking it down a half, it drives pretty darn straight. Look at that. I think it drives pretty good. If it don't drive straight, you can't check the wheel. Now with that assisted steering, this thing drives like a freaking car almost, man. It's like driving a F-150, bro. I mean, you just turn this thing with your finger, man, look. And then it just comes right back around straight, just like that. Bam. Wants to go straight down the road, huh? Alright, new U-bolts. We use one of these on the new U-bolt. 350. Hopefully everybody don't get mad at me for pulling on this torque wrench. There we go. I hope this explains a little bit about 3-axle alignments and things like that, and maybe some tire wear issues that you may or may not have, or you may have in the future, but you need to check out. So thanks everybody for watching, and thank you for everyone who's been supporting my Etsy store and everything, Bending with Bennett at Etsy. I got some more merch coming out. I'm trying to get the shirts made from the previous video and everything going. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe, comment down below. Good or bad, I don't really care. You know, I like all the comments. So check them out and everything. Also, there's a video. Check out some of my other videos. I know that some of the videos I've done in the past are pretty cringe and all. You know, I'm working on better videos. So thank you guys again for watching. And I hope this clears up some information and things. And keep twisting.